Chapter 165. The Qualification of a Direct Disciple. As time goes by, forming a 9-turn golden core, Han Yi closed the thick book, sighed deeply, and said, "In just 10,000 years of the Middle Age, so many heroes were born. Even more were born in the more distant, ancient, and primordial times. However, the number of people who have condensed the 9-cycle golden core has always been small." Han Yi deeply understood the difficulty of reaching the 9-cycle golden core. Of course, once successful, he would be able to resonate with heaven and earth through the golden core. His potential would be infinite, and cultivating to the deity transformation would be as easy as turning his hand. The benefits he would gain would be equally massive. Perhaps there are people who have reached the 9-cycle golden core now, but they just haven't been recorded in this book. The Central Earth is so vast, even the historical books of the Dragon Sparrow sect are detailed. They can't record the information of all cultivators. The overlooked, ignored ones are countless. Why can't I become one of them and become the first 9-cycle golden core cultivator since the establishment of the Dragon Sparrow sect? Han Yi gradually regained his confidence, and his eyes became extremely firm. What others cannot do does not mean that he can't do so. Junior brother Han Yi, the sect leader wants to see you. Suddenly, a clear and melodious voice of Sister Shen echoed above the cave mansions. Shen Yuxian's robes fluttered. Her gaze turned to the entrance. After she sent the telepathic message, she glanced around the spirit plant garden being taken care of. She was amazed at Han Yi's skills, but also couldn't help but wonder how many secrets he had that she didn't know about. "Incoming," Han Yi responded and then slowly walked out. After several months, without grooming, his beard and hair had grown very long. His eyes were still calm and bright. In another 3 to 4 years, he would reach middle age according to the human time. But he still looked like a rugged and masculine young man. Dressed in a blue robe, his entire demeanor seemed to be more detached and casual. "What's the matter with the sect leader looking for me? Has he returned? Wasn't it said that the sect leader and to hunt down Lu Zhuangshuan? I wonder what the result was." Han Yi was quite concerned about Lu Zhuangshuan's matter, so he immediately walked out of the cave mansions and asked. Ever since the Golden Cicada secret realm, the news about the demonic culture has spread all over the sect. Chu Xuanyu's departure, even though the Dragon Sparrow sect was helpless, it still didn't matter too much because Chu family's influence was still significant. Only Ning Yujing and Lu Zhuangshuan were strictly investigated by the sect. Both of them became the targets pursued by the Dragon Sparrow sect. The reasons were first for their identities, sleeper cells of the demonic cultivators, and second for creating numerous disturbances in the cultivation world under the guise of disciples of the Dragon Sparrow sect. The Dragon Sparrow sect had the responsibility to clear up the mess. Shen Yuxian shook her head. "I'm not sure about this. I was just acting as a messenger, all right." Han Yi didn't say anything further, and immediately headed to the Supreme Hall to meet the sect leader of the Dragon Sparrow sect, Yun Zuzi. Arriving at the highest peak of the Dragon Sparrow sect, overlooking the clouds, Han Yi sent a message. Inner sect disciple Han Yi, requesting to meet the sect leader. "Come in," an ethereal voice entered his ears. After stepping into the great hall, Han Yi noticed that the palace's rear was actually a lakeside pavilion. In the late winter, the icy surface of the pond in front of the bare trees had yet to thaw. Yun Zuzi had his back to Han Yi. He was an old man with white hair, lightly holding a duster in his hand. His posture was still upright, looking at the snow scene in the courtyard when he heard Han Yi stepping out from behind. His originally cloudy eyes showed a flash of brightness, and he chuckled hoarsely. "Han Yi, looks like this unexpected trial in the Golden Cicada secret realm didn't affect you much. You've gained quite a bit. With the 5 viscera shimmering gold, flesh and bones and wrapped in gold, how many times has your body transformed now?" Han Yi bowed respectfully towards Yun Zuzi, demonstrating his good manners. He said, in response to the sect leader, "Indeed, this disciple has undergone 3 complete transformations." Yun Zuzi nodded his head, admiration showing in his eyes. "You've already undergone 3 transformations. It seems that you're expected to challenge the pinnacle golden core." He was quite satisfied with Han Yi. Not only was this young man's will strong, his cultivation talent was gradually surpassing other gifted youngsters. His future achievements would be anything but ordinary. It was a pity that such a talented figure happened to be someone destined for calamity. Having thought that, Yun Zuzi looked at Han Yi and gently said, "You've been with the Dragon Sparrow sect for less than 5 years, right?" "Yes." Han Ye thought for a moment and then said that today was the end of his 4th year in the sect and he would soon be entering his 5th year. Yun Zuzi's gaze became serious, and he said, "In 5 years' time, you've advanced from check cultivation to the foundation establishment perfection. Your cultivation improvement is too speedy. It's possible that both your Dao heart and accumulation are insufficient." Han Yi understood Yun Zuzi's meaning. Advancing too quickly in cultivation meant that his foundation was insubstantial. Cultivation was a long journey, and if one's foundation wasn't stable, it wouldn't be beneficial for future cultivation. Yun Zuzi had high expectations for Han Yi and did not want him to be destroyed at the foundation. He said seriously and sincerely, "In the early stages of cultivation, resources for cultivating played a significant role. A gifted individual with enough resources could cultivate very quickly. Hundreds of years ago, our sect gave birth to an individual of remarkable talents. At just 12 years of age, he reached check cultivation perfection. At 15, he was in the foundation establishment realm, and at 18, he reached foundation establishment perfection. In less than 10 years of cultivation, he broke through to the golden core, shocking the entire Dragon Sparrow sect on King Yun Immortal Mountain. The seniors of the main peak all highly praised him, believing he could reach the Mahayana realm, and even had hopes of ascending." Han Yi asked, "And then what happened?" Yun Zuzi let out a sigh, his eyes becoming extremely dull. He shook his head and said, "Rapid cultivation made his foundation unstable, and his progress in later stages of cultivation became extremely slow. After he turned 22, it took him another 50 years to reach the Nasan Soul realm.